I just finished watching arguably one of the most anticipated and hyped series for this anime season, Izetta, The Last Witch. And I gotta say, man, the hype for this series, I could see why it is, but I think the hype is mostly directed towards the animation and the OST, which I absolutely loved. It was very nice. I loved the soundtrack in the beginning. I loved the soundtrack at the end when Izetta broke free from her captivity. It was very fitting to this series. It really was. I really enjoyed it. It is a OST you would actually want to go out and download and hear it daily. It's really nice. I love the soundtrack. I love the ending theme to this series too. The animation is very fucking good. Probably the best animation of any series that I've watched so far for this season. Definitely lives up to the hype. Now, about the story, I can't say I loved it because right off the bat we find out that our main character, Fine, I just call her Fine because I gotta tell you, man, people might not mention this because they love the animation so much, but there is a lot of fan service, and a lot of it is towards Fine, aka Fine, because we get to see that she has a fine, fine figure. We find out that she's a princess, of course, seriously, like almost every single character in these pre-post wartime scenarios we put in, the main character is almost always a princess, and it gets very boring very fast. So I wasn't very thrilled to find out that she was a princess, but eh. We also find out that Germans are dicks. They are always the enemy in all. It's funny actually. It's really really hilarious that they're always the enemy. So there's that. Moving a little bit forward, we get to find out that the princess actually left her hometown. She leaves because Germany is about to invade, so she's trying to get to Britain so she could probably ally herself with them because she desperately needs the help. Her country is small, which means the army is small and they cannot take down the Goliath of Germany. It's pretty much impossible at this point, so that's why she's desperately trying to find allies to help her. She is in desperate need because she keeps on saying that the only reason she's alive is because the people keep her alive. So she feels like she has this huge duty to help the people, even though it might cost her her life. So I admire the admiration she has towards her people. And then we get introduced to this other character. I didn't even get his name, but we all know who he is. He's the guy that wears the glasses, the guy that looks very shady, the guy that looks like he might be the main antagonist of this story, the guy that's on the cover, looking right into Fine's eyes. When the princess was trying to escape the train, it wasn't really showed, but it was implied that he shot the security guards that were interested into looking what was inside the capsule in which the witch was being held. It looks like he has his own agenda, his own goals that he's trying to accomplish, and it looks like that the witch and Fine will be in a way throughout this series, and he will try to either kill or manipulate them in the near future. Which, if that does happen, that will be interesting. I really hope they don't become, allies. It might play out that way, but maybe the guy in glasses might just be manipulating them. It might be part of his plan to make him think they're allies. I would like to see that kind of route taken in this anime. That would be very interesting to see if that actually happens. It looks like the guy in glasses was sending him to the German Empire to do some research on this phenomenon, because I guess witches are not really seen very so often. They're pretty rare. So knowing that the guy in glasses is also interested in a witch, I have a feeling he kind of foresaw this happening. It looks like he actually knew who the princess was also. Felt like he kind of manipulated everybody. It feels like that this was his plan all along, to get the Germans to capture the witch, knowing that the princess would somehow get there and she would awaken the witch, and what we saw happen, that was all part of his plan. So I'm interested if he actually had any part in doing this. It would be very nice if he actually was able to, because he looks like a guy that plans far, far ahead than anyone else. A very smart, a very intellect character. Towards the end of this episode, the princess gets captured by German troops. As I already said, the witch awakes. I don't know how the witch happened to be in the plane, and we didn't really see that transition. It was very weird, very awkwardly placed. I wish there would have been some details into knowing why she was on that plane. Where was she headed? She was probably headed to the Emperor of Germany, but we didn't get to see that. We didn't get to see that. It just jumped from the train to the plane. So, wish there was a little bit of explanation there, but overall, man, it was definitely an interesting episode. So this one definitely sticks out. It's probably the most memorable one that has come out so far, in my opinion. Mostly for the animation, mostly for the soundtrack, and the story. It is getting interesting. It is not original. There has been a lot of post-war type settings involved in many other series, but this one has its unique touch involving the witch, which, haha, which, in my opinion, might break the series, might make me not like the series, because since it is pre and post wartime, World War II time, technology hasn't evolved yet. It's still in a, guns is pretty much the most advanced thing they have. So now that they brought this witch, you know, which witches have magic. They could do anything. So I'm afraid that this story will use the witch as a plot device to solve things that normally shouldn't be solved that way. I feel like this witch will be used to solve everything in a very fast way, which will not require much explanation. It won't require much reasoning. If that happens, I will not like this at all. But knowing series like this, I have a feeling that the witch might not want to use her powers, or she's limited to her powers, so there might be a lot of negotiations going on, a lot of politics, a lot of, strategy involving to see how the princess will be able to save her kingdom. It'll be very interesting to see how this will play out. What do you guys think about the series? What do you guys think about the how they're portraying this new aspect involving a witch to this, 1939 setting of an anime? So let me know what you guys think, man. Let me know down below. See you guys next time. Sayonara.